Hi everyone, it's Christine here from Ever After Paper Crafts, and today I have a fun Halloween card to share with you. I know it's only July, but I got this brand new stamp set from Mama Elephant and I just had to give it a go. Also, I did actually have a different video planned for you guys today, but I got really excited with this new, really inexpensive watercolor paint that I found, which I'll talk more about in just a moment. So I decided I had to jump on camera here and share this with you guys. So this is the card we're going to be working on today. It has this cute little teddy bear dressed up as a pumpkin for Halloween, and the little sentiment says, "Too cute to spook." Now, this is what I want to talk to you guys about. Check out this paint here. The pictures on my blog, and I'll have a link to my blog in the description box of this video. It will show up really well in the pictures, but hopefully you were seeing a little bit, there we go, a little bit of it on film here. This paint is a pearlescent paint. I've worked with pearlescent paints before on my video here, on my video channel here, but the difference in this particular paint is it was $5 from Michael's for all of these colors. So I thought, I saw them in Michael's one day. It's Artist Loft. It's back in the paint department. They have regular watercolor paints and pearlescents, and it's $5 for this entire palette. So I thought, well, why not? I'll pick it up and see if it works and let you guys know if it does. Well, it does, and it is beautiful. So for $5, you get all those paints, and the pearlescent colors show up on white watercolor paper, which is awesome. A lot of these pearlescent paints only show up on black cardstock. Well, not these. For $5, you get all those colors, and they show up great on this white watercolor paper. So this is what we're going to be playing with today. Here is the stamp set. It's called Plushoween from Mama Elephant. It is oh so cute. I use this little bear right here and a few candy corns, and then of course the "You're too cute to spook" sentiment. So let's go ahead and get started. To create the card base, the first thing that I did, since I'm going to be doing minimal watercoloring, is I actually just went ahead and cut out the piece of cardstock that I'm going to be using in this rectangle shape, and I just happened to use a stitched rectangle die from Lawn Fawn, and this one just happens to be the largest rectangle in the small stitched rectangle dies set. So I went ahead and cut that out, and I also went ahead and stamped my sentiment just to help me kind of plan where I want my little swooshes of watercolor paint to go. Now I'm going to bring my board over, and I'm only using this to protect my work surface from the paint. I generally, when I watercolor, like to tape my paper down to my board so it doesn't warp, or at least it helps eliminate the warping a bit. But because I'm doing such minimal watercoloring, I'm not going to worry about that. Now, the two colors, there's two different oranges in this palette. There's a darker orange down here and a lighter orange here. So I'm going to use the dark orange along the bottom of the cardstock and then come in with a little bit of the light orange. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a cup of water off camera here. I'm going to open up the paint palette, and I have just a watercolor brush. You don't need a special brush for this technique at all. Any paintbrush that you have at home will do. And I'm going to go ahead, and you'll see this is off camera, but I'm dipping my paintbrush right now into the darker orange color and just getting it nice and wet. With pearlescent paints, you do have to kind of really get it wet for the paint to start to move. To loosen up, I guess, and transfer onto your paintbrush. And now I'm just going to take my paintbrush and just sort of put some color down. I'm gonna get my paintbrush wet, go back over this just a little bit, and get it to move a little bit better. All right, now I'm gonna dip it back into the dark orange color, and I'm just laying this down right now. Nothing special at all, just kind of looping it. I mean, literally nothing special at all. I'm going to take my heat gun and dry this super quick. Chasing those water droplets around. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know I really like to do that because it creates really fun, blotchy kind of look to your finished project, which when you're doing watercoloring is kind of the effect that you're looking for in a way. So I really like to do that. I'm going to go back in with just a little bit more of the darker orange color here, and I'm just literally just putting it on the paper in a fun little loop-de-loop design. I mean, nothing special at all. And now clean my brush with my water, and now I'm going into the lighter orange, and I'm just going to kind of run that along the top and just whoosh, whoosh it around just a little. And now I'm going to dry this again. Again, chasing those water droplets around to give us a fun little splotchy look at the end. And I'll show you on the finished card in a moment what I mean by the little splotchy look. All right, so we're getting this nice and dry, and I'm just gonna coat it one more time. I like to give, when I'm working with pearlescent paints, I like to give it kind of a couple coats to really let that shimmer and shine show through. And I find that doing a couple coats, even though it does add a little bit of time to the making of the card, it really is worth it at the end because it really does add to the pearlescence. It really, when you coat it on there, it really has a fun effect at the end, making it a lot more shimmery and shiny. So that's really a fun end look. So now I'm just going to pick my cardstock up and chase these water droplets around just a little bit. All right, and that's looking really good. So that's it. That's it. In probably about, what, 2 minutes, we used this really cheap palette of paints, and we got this really fun look. And I'm going to bring this up to the camera now and show you what I mean. Look how shimmery and shiny that is. And I don't know, there we go, it's picking up a little bit. It's not even really very subtle in real life. It's quite beautiful. It's just a little hard to capture it on camera for some reason, but it's just gorgeous. It looks like it's just full of sparkle and shimmer. And what I meant, by the way, by chasing those water droplets around is when you do that, you get these fun, gloppy little, I don't know, globs, I guess you could say, of paint in various areas. There's some here and over here. And it just kind of adds, it lets the viewer know, hey, that's fun, that's watercolored. You know what I mean? So I do like to have those on my projects when I'm creating backgrounds like these. Just trying to show the shimmer a little bit better. I'm going to bring my Light over, shine some Light on it. So hopefully that will even help a little bit better. There you go. You can see, there we go. You can see that shimmer and shine there. Trust me, on these paints, it's absolutely gorgeous in real life. So let me bring the finished card back over and show you again. And every time you do this, by the way, it's going to look a little different. Here's what we did on camera. Here's what I did on the final card. It's just, you know, you just play around with it. Put the paint wherever the heck you want. And it just creates a really fun end result, I think. So, and here's those little globbies too on the finished card here, where I chase the water droplets around with the heat gun, which is really fun to do. All right, so the last part of the card, just to kind of finish things up here, is I went ahead and already stamped the little critter onto some Canson XL watercolor paper. And I'm going to zoom in and quickly color this little bear for you guys. And then I'll kind of talk you through how you put the finished card together. This is a super easy card, one that you could create multiples of if you wanted to send out for Halloween, or if you have kids, you could easily make this up for their classmates, whatever you wanted to do. But it is nice to kind of come up with simple cards that you can mass produce quickly for holidays if you wanted to. And this is certainly one that you could reproduce really easily. For the bear's fur, which is what I'm going to start with, I'm going to be using brown and light brown. And of course, I'm coloring this with my current favorite coloring medium, my Zig watercolor markers and my water brush. So I'm doing painting, and that's why I'm using the watercolor paper, although you can also get beautiful results using a water, actually, and Bristol Smooth cardstock as well. And I kind of just go back and forth. I think they both produce beautiful results. I don't have a favorite, honestly. So anyway, I'm laying down some of my brown color, which is my darkest color first. When you're working with your zigs, you always want to make sure you start with the dark color first, in my experience anyway. That works best for me. I'm not proclaiming to be an expert in any way. I'm just sharing what I do and what works best for me. And the experimenting that I've done, starting with your darkest color works best. So now I'm coming in with the light brown, and in a circular motion, I'm blending it with that darker brown color and pulling it into the open white space. And now I'm going to use my water brush and in a circular motion fill in the white space that remains. And this will give us a really cute shaded final look. Sometimes I will go back a little bit into the color that I've laid down with my marker with my water brush. And if you see me doing that, the only reason that I'm doing that is because perhaps there's the harsh line there that I'm trying to get rid of marker or something like that. Generally speaking though, when I bring in the water, I'm just going slightly into the color that I've laid down and pulling it out, as opposed to going all the way back to the first color I laid down. If that makes sense, hopefully that makes sense. Now I'm going to come in and color his arm, and I feel it's going to be shaded here, and the part of his arm that's up towards the top is going to be lighter, where the sun or highlight or what have you light would be hitting it. I'm going to come in now with the light brown, pull this color out just a bit here, and then use the water brush to finish and fill in the rest of that white space that is left behind. So there's one cute little paw. Let's do the other paw. I'm using brown again, coming in where I feel that the shading or the shadow is going to be prevalent. Coming in with the light brown to blend that out. And then of course using the water brush to complete the portion, this portion here of the image. Same thing with the little feet now. I'm going to put my dark color and my brown where I feel that it's going to be darkest, and then use the lighter brown to blend it. So let's do that. Come in with our light brown here, blend this up a little bit to fill in some of this white space, and then we'll use the water brush to complete it. Very, very simple and quick. You can see how quick I'm doing this. You know, I don't have my head directly over the little bear here that I'm coloring, because, you know, I don't want my head in the camera. So I'm doing this very quickly without the best view possible, I guess you could say, and I'm still getting really cute results. So the point being that you really can get fun results with these zig markers, and you only need a couple markers to get really pretty shading. It would take me, and I love my Copics, please don't get me wrong here, but it would take me probably 5 or 6 Copic markers to create a similar look to this, and I'm doing it with my zigs with just 2. So now let's go ahead and color the little pumpkin costume that he's wearing, and I'm just going to use one color for this. I'm going to show you how you can get such beautiful results with just one color. So I'm going to come in here and color the little top first, take the water brush, pull this orange down, and voila, you have such a really pretty little shading. You can see the dark up here and it fades to a lighter color. Now I'm going to do the little main part, his main part of his costume here. So I'm going to scribble in the color where I feel that it's going to be darkest, where that shadow or that shading is going to hit. And then we'll use the water brush to pull this out in just a moment. So I'm just literally scribbling on here a line of color of the orange color with the marker. And now I'm going to take my water brush and pull it into the middle. And this will give us, with just one marker, a beautiful shaded look here. And you can go back over this again if you want to darken it, but for the purposes of the video, I'm not going to do that. But the great thing about zigs is you can just go right back over it again. If you want to make that darker, you know, make it darker around the perimeter there, you can do that if you want to. I'm going to put my cap on my orange, and now we just want to do kind of the little inserts to his little paws. And I kind of created my own color in a way. I did light brown first, and I just put a little bit of light brown down. And I encourage you to think of these zig markers, by the way, as if they were paints. And so think of this as if you have a palette and you can mix these different markers together and create your own colors, and that's really fun. I wanted the little pads to be a pinkish color, but the light pink was too light and regular pink was way too bright. So by putting a little bit of brown down first, then blending that out with the pink, then the light pink, then using my water brush to pull it out, you really get kind of a new unique color. It's not too pinky, it's not too light, and it's certainly not too dark. And it really is really pretty. I really, really love mixing colors with my zigs. So I'm going to do that to all of the little inserts of his little paws, and I'm also going to do it for the inside of his little ears. So let's see. Almost done here. We are almost done. Let me just do his little ears here and come in with the light pink. And then we'll use our water brush, pull this newly created color out. It's so pretty in real life. It's definitely got noticeable pink hues to it, but you keep a little bit of that brown in. And I forgot to do the tops of his ears with the original bear color. So I'm going to come back in with the brown and then the light brown, and we'll just slightly blend this out. There's not much real estate there to color, so we're just gonna be very easy with that. And now we have to do the top of his little pumpkin, and I'm just gonna do a dark brown for this. And the stem of the pumpkin is what I was trying to say. I don't know what exactly I just said. All right, and now finally we're gonna do his nose. And I just did a little, oops, I think I colored the stem of that pumpkin off camera. I apologize for that. I just put dark brown there and pulled it up just a little bit. And now I'm just gonna put a little bit of black on his nose. Pull that into the middle here with my water brush. And our little bear is done. And he is super, super cute. Quickly colored, and you can see there from coloring him so quickly, you still get a really fun look. I'm just going to color one candy corn really quick. So they have yellow on the bottom. So you just put just a little tiny scribble of yellow, and then you put some orange, and then I just left the top plain because the top is white. So I just left the top plain there. And so you pull the orange out, and there you have your candy corns. And I have 3 of them, but I'm just going to color 1 for the video. So let me zoom back out so we can bring over the final card, and I'll talk you through how to put it, how you would finish putting it together. So I adhered my watercolor panel to some black cardstock that I did cut out with a scallops rectangle. It just happens to be from a die from Lawn Fawn. You could use whatever you have in your stash. And then I added my little bear and my 3 little candy corns with some pop dots, and then I added some sequins, and of course it's all on a standard 4 1/4 by 5.5 note card. So really simple card to do, guys. If you were mass producing this, you could certainly eliminate the sequins or the candy corns, and make it even simpler if you wanted to. But it's a very simple card with very inexpensive, beautiful pearlescent paint. I, quite frankly, was shocked at how beautiful this is. This is the little watercolor background that we created on camera. And it's just, oh, I wish you guys could see it in person. It's beautiful. So head over to Michael's and check out the art section in the back of the store, and pick up Artist Loft $5, literally, and this was their everyday price. This was not on sale. $5 for all of these beautiful pearlescent paints. It's a huge palette. You get 2 shades of at least 2 shades of almost every color, and it's just absolutely gorgeous, and the results were great. I wouldn't steer you wrong, I promise. So thank you so much, as always, for stopping by. I hope you'll give this technique a try, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks again so much for all your support. Bye-bye.